Ladies and gentlemen, what a December it has been already. When you thought it was over, it isn't. We got some big earnings, big news, Mark Zuckerberg folding like a lawn chair, and Trump doing Trump things. So what does it all mean for markets? Let's talk about it. Tune in. I got you covered.
Welcome everybody to the Daily Recap Show where we talk about stocks and the financial markets. My name is Chase. If you like this video, please subscribe, hit that notification bell as well as the like button and leave a comment for the algorithm. Let's get into it.
This is the daily heat map of the S&P 500 and US stocks wobbled on Thursday as Wall Street digested fresh jobs data, with traders increasingly baking expectations that the Fed will deliver a December rate cut next week. And guys, today was a very mixed day. There were winners, there were losers. Such goes the market. We saw tech and software do really well on the back of some earnings reports we got from CRM, UiPath, and that lit, the semis on fire. Nvidia was up, AVGO was flat. In fact, it was mostly just Nvidia on the semi space, but software was really positive. Same with infrastructure right here. Apple, Amazon did take it on the chin along with Google, and then Meta was up 4% today. We'll talk about why that is in a second. Tesla up 0.46%. Industrials were actually green today, and then we had just mixed results through and through. Financials were positive, healthcare not that great. All in all, today was just really a mixed day here in the market, with some sectors gaining, some sectors losing. Healthcare, staples, discretionary, utilities, a lot of the defensive sectors at the bottom here in the red, which is kind of good. It is showing us that the sectors that are performing are those risk on sectors: industrials, communication services, technology. But not a super day with the S&P 500 down 0.04%, or pretty much flat here today. Gold roughly flat as well. So we just saw a lot of market churn in the large cap space here in the S&P 500. But when you dive under the hood, we saw small caps really outperform. I mean, small cap growth, small cap core up 0.84 and 1.31% respectively. We also saw outperformance here in the mid-cap space, relatively speaking to what we saw in the large cap space. And then the only large cap factor that was green today was actually large cap growth, up 0.47%. So all in all, definitely a day for the broader market, especially small caps, really seeing, the Russell 2000 outperform. It was up like 1% today when the S&P 500 was flat. And this is coming off what I would say was actually a pretty good economic data today. Initial jobless claims smashed expectations. Now, the lower this number, the better, right? It just means less people are applying for jobless claims. The forecast was 220,000. Challenger job cuts also came in much lower than expected, 71,000 versus the 98K forecast. And then continuing claims also beat expectations ever so slightly. However, this data wasn't that good that it actually took a December cut off the table. No, we're still looking at a 93% probability of a rate cut next week at the FOMC of 25 basis points. And I think that is the base case right now. And ultimately, that is why we saw small caps rallying. We say, hey, we got this good data, rate cut's still on the table, onward and upward. And that's why we saw high beta, rate sensitive sectors outperform. At the same time, the reason why AI and software stocks did really well is because Trump is, back on the chopping board. They're ready to do high level talks to allow NVIDIA H200 sales, as well as NVIDIA AMD MI350 sales to China. So they're preparing for high level talks. That's going to happen over this weekend. I believe we'll see how that goes. Along with AI stocks rallying, Meta jumped as much as 5% here at the highs after Bloomberg reported that CEO Mark Zuckerberg is planning to cut up to 30% of its metaverse budget. Now, metaverse is this cash drain that's going nowhere, and I'm guessing he's cutting that budget to say $5 billion a year so that he could probably put that towards AI. At the same time, Salesforce dropped really good earnings. It was up 4% here today, and it was a double beat, a raise as well. CRM reported diluted earnings per share of $3.25, beating the estimates of $2.58. It was a massive beat. Revenue came in at $10.2 billion, growing 8.6% year over year, and it raised its fiscal 2026 revenue forecast on Wednesday, anticipating growth from its artificial intelligence agent platform due to strong enterprise demand. But it wasn't all guns and roses. Snowflake was down 11.28%, and the reason why this was the case because the company actually slightly missed Wall Street's revenue expectations. Wall Street wanted $1.18 billion. The company reported $1.15 billion. However, they beat on earnings. And through and through, I thought this was actually a very healthy report. The company's still growing 29% year over year. Very, very solid growth for a company doing, in the billions of revenue. And I think if you're looking to get into the stock, this might actually be the time right here after this earnings report, but it's going to take a couple of weeks to base out. And then for everything we saw today, there were 3,600 advances. So actually great market breadth today, surprisingly. 2,600 decliners. We saw outflows in both exchanges. The S&P 500 was flat and market momentum looks really, really solid. Everything from the shorter term averages to the longer term averages continue to remain very robust. And we actually saw improvement on a week over week basis, from last week to today. Very, very solid stuff in aggregate. Let's hop on the charts though. Now guys, looking at the charts, you can see a fairly red day. The market in aggregate was red because large caps weren't participating, but not disastrous. I mean, after the end of last week and start of this week, it's good to just digest, that big move from the lows. But the Russell 2000 gaining, mid caps gaining, the S&P 600 was actually flat. So it really was just a high beta play. And that is on the back of actually rates rising, as you can see right here. So, I mean, the rate expectations increasing ever so slightly, nothing crazy, but to still see the Russell 2000 perform really goes to show what the market is baking in there. It's telling you everything you need to know. Internationally, we actually saw very positive momentum. Crypto, taking a bit of a breather here. It kind of has to, because it really is up like 15-20% off its lows it made last week. So to see this price action is, again, kind of normal, especially Bitcoin down 1.92%. I probably expect a retest of the 3,000 level here in Ethereum, as well as maybe 90,000 in Bitcoin sometime over the weekend. The dollar strengthened a little bit as yields did strengthen as well. And so when yields rise, gold struggles to perform, and that's why gold was flat, silver was down. Crude was up 1.15%, and that's because there is talks happening with Russia right now with regards to the Ukraine situation. We'll see how that plans out, but all in all, a very mixed day across the market. Assets continue to probably just price in expectations of a rate cut, easier monetary policy, Kevin Hassett coming into the market, and that's why we're seeing the momentum that we are seeing in the market right now. But when you look at the S&P 500, if you look at the daily chart, you can see that the S&P 500 is sort of digesting this sort of like mini move, this mini bounce it had off the lows right here, and roughly in line with what we saw at the start of maybe November. Those highs we saw at the start of November, then we had this big move down, and now this big move back up, almost like a V-shaped recovery. Right. And that's really all we've done all year. You can see like a V right here. V, 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 V. That's all we've done. The S&P 500, and today is no different. We're about less than 1% away from all-time highs. I still see a 7,000 target for the end of the year in the S&P 500. I think that's pretty much consensus, and I think we will see it, especially if we do get this cut on the FOMC. And Jerome Powell could come out hawkish and nuke everything, but we'll see. We'll see what happens next week. Ultimately, we probably will get that cut, and generally speaking, the markets do like that news in aggregate. Now, look, the S&P 500, it's actually not oversold, but not overbought right at this level right here. So there definitely is room to run to the upside, and generally speaking, it's only really prudent to sell when we do get to these overbought areas, as you can see right here. So I definitely think there's definitely still room to run to the upside here in the S&P 500, and that is a good thing in my personal opinion. Now guys, let's quickly have a look at some of our other proxies right here. When you look at the Nasdaq 100, very similar situation. Ultimately, these are going higher. When we look at the Russell 2000, it looks like it's breaking out. It wants to break out. It wants to move higher, and not even in overbought conditions. And this is the all-time high here for the Russell, and it's looking like once we enter this price discovery mode for the Russell, once we break above these highs, right, it's just onward and upward. And I wouldn't actually be surprised to see 3,000 Russell 2000 in 2026. And the year is coming to an end. Absolutely crazy to see that. But all in all, I like what equities are doing. Equities look really, really strong. Crypto doesn't look that strong. We certainly are bouncing off these lows right here, but it does look like we are probably going to go ahead, retest. If we can form a higher low here in Bitcoin above this low, well, then we're looking at sort of like a rising wedge pattern. And if that is the case, we could form like a higher low, bounce off here, and then we can make our next move to the upside. But bulls really need to start stepping in. We cannot let the bears take control. Otherwise, this downtrend will continue, because we clearly are in a downtrend from these all-time highs. We did bounce right here where it came off these oversold conditions, right? But we're not yet in those overbought conditions. So we'll see what happens next. I do favor more upside here for the crypto space in Bitcoin as well as Ethereum, right? You can see you really are moving, but if these assets really want to work, the bulls need to start working right now and testing these key levels. But 3,000 for Ethereum, let's go ahead, have price discovery at the 3,000 level, and that'll be 90,000 for Bitcoin. If we can go ahead, hold those levels, I think we should see upward momentum into next week, into the month of December, as the month of December continues to chug along. And remember, the closer we get to Christmas, the more seasonally bullish we become in the market. Now, guys, if you're looking at individual stocks, right, maybe you don't want to hold crypto, maybe you don't want to hold ETFs, what should you buy? Now, a name I do like is APLD. I've been talking about this for a while. We were strong buyers of APLD right here. And I mean, we've gone from the $20 to the $30 level, right? That's a 50% gain if we actually just take a measured move from these lows. Now, you're going to have to go ahead and actually get that move from the low. I mean, even if you didn't get the low at the $20 area, a big move from the $20 to $30 area. And I do think we probably are going to move to this area right here with a bit of congestion. We'll have price discovery right there. I have a $25 cash secure puts on this name. So it looks like it's going to expire. List up 6% here on the day. Another name that I do like and I think is a great buy right now is Iris Energy. These are two data center players. You can see Iris Energy probably basing out a little bit more on these levels. If you're looking for the energy space, EOSE, you can get really, really good premiums for this name. Absolutely rocketing up here. And then on the real estate space, I really do like Better Home and Financing Company. I actually sold them $60 cash secured puts into early January. The premiums were absolutely jacked. The stock was up 11% today. And I think we've probably put in the low right here, and we probably are going to go back to these all-time highs looking into 2026 in my opinion. I really like the stock, and I also really do like Lemonade. If you're looking for the convergence between insurance, financials, as well as AI, Lemonade is the stock. I think if you can get an allocation here at the $65 level, I think this is a $100 to $120 stock in 2026, guys. So those are the names I do like. Buy the dip. We're getting ready for a bullish seasonal period into the end of December, into January, guys. Any dips we do get, buy the dip, hold the line. This is the time of year where we want to just do nothing with our portfolios and watch the gains run in.
Guys, and diving into sentiment, this is the AAI sentiment survey, and what we saw last week into this week was a massive uptick in bullish sentiment, a massive downtick in bearish sentiment as we put in those lows in late November, rallied here into the early part of December, and that has seen a stark sentiment shift. And oftentimes when you do get elevated bearish sentiment like we've seen in the last 4 weeks here as well, you tend to see this type of mean reversion, and that's exactly what we're getting right now. Now you could say we are a bit frothy here in the bull side. However, the truth of the matter is once we normally get to these levels, we can have quite a number of weeks like we did with the bearish sentiment at this 40% mark, and that could simply mean more room to the upside. Because when we look at earnings calls for the third quarter, the mentions of quote raised guidance has actually spiked, some of the highest it's ever been ever. Even the pandemic era right here versus cautiousness is some of the lowest we've ever seen. So that's telling you everything you need to know. At the same time, we are also seeing liquidity conditions improve markedly. We've gone from like this turbo puke and we are starting to enter the bid zone. If we can continue to move higher with liquidity, especially with the TGA being drained, rate cuts coming into the market and December seasonals, if we push up into this turbo bid area right here, you can really see markets not just take out all-time highs, but really rally into price discovery into the new year. But that's all going to be determined by the macro, and things are not looking too good, guys. US private payrolls, ADP, saw a decrease by 32,000 jobs yesterday. The expectation was about for a 10 to 15,000 in growth. We actually saw a negative number. So, the labor market certainly is weakening, and that is why rate cut odds certainly moved up the market. However, when we look at other metrics, you look at stuff like federal employment tax receipts, that is up 12.4% here for the month of November. Now, don't get me wrong, we did see a negative print here in October because of the government shutdown. However, this could be skewed by massive earners and compensation, right? From just massive amounts of people. It could be skewed by like the top 1% to top 50%. I think the ADP is more indicative of the broader economy. That being said, we do have to look at the highs and the lows of the data. And right now, the market, based on rate cut expectations, is telling you, hey, the employment market is weakening despite the data we see, especially in the broad economy. It is time to cut rates. With regards to earnings, there's no earnings here on Friday, guys. And before we wrap things up, we could see here on Friday, we get core PCE. The number we're looking for there is 0.2. We also get the Michigan consumer sentiment, personal income outlays. We get the price index here. We're looking for a 2.8% right there. We'll see what happens with inflation. So we do get inflation data, and the market's really going to move on that. But if you've made it up until here, thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please subscribe, hit the notification bell, as well as the like button, and leave a comment for the algorithm. Cheers.